19th of August, 2012. I just got up to take out the trash. And I just make this video because it's like my second day seeing the sheriff truck come through this yard, through this apartment complex. This is the same behavior. Oops, let me turn it down. Hold on. I don't know. This is the same behavior as in Las Vegas, especially when it first all started happening around 13. I felt like I was being stopped by law enforcement. And yesterday, the timing is just perfect. As soon as I walk outside, there was just a sheriff truck just sitting here. Didn't want nothing. Just kind of like double parked. Not even vertical like the other truck. Just horizontally parked. And I thought that was kind of weird. Okay, so it wasn't for me. They didn't bother me. No big deal. So I get out early, come up early this morning just to take out the trash. And the same sheriff truck just came by here again. He's over there just parked just like he did over here the other day. It was parked right here. Now he's just right up there, right where I can see him. If you can see right there, there is the dumpster. Wait, let's see. That's the dumpster right between those two cars. So just kind of like on the other side. You can't see it from here because it's kind of like parked in there. And so that's where I went to go take the trash out. So he did come through here first and then just kind of turn in that little roundabout and just stay there in the roundabout. And so I don't know if it's, like I said, good, bad, right, or wrong, or ugly. It's just the fact that it is. And that's what's been happening. That's what started all this stuff right after the state board hearing in Las Vegas, right after the state board hearing, which is February 11, 2016. I'm sorry, 2013, February 11, 2013. And it's like days right after that board hearing, I went to the Cosmetology of Nevada board hearing because for my CDC program that I had. And it was a program that was actually about government and the world would be happy about that particular program because it benefited government, it benefited school owners, it benefited the new upcoming professionals as well as the beauty salon. So it's a program that would benefit everybody. So, but nevertheless, after that hearing, they loved that idea. But I should tell you, before the hearing on the 6th, Gwen texted me, and this has been on Facebook forever. She texts me and says, "Hey, somebody, I saw your name." Now, mind you, she ain't spoke to me in over a year, she said. But this is one text. She texts me first. "Hey, somebody, I see that your name is on the agenda for the state board hearing." She says that she will be there also for the new for the selection for the new director's position. She said, I don't know what director she's talking about. She's talking about Trump, or she's talking about who, but for the new director position, that she was going to be there also. And so since we hadn't really spoken in months or so, I just assumed that was some form of a threat, a retaliation, or some form of some kind of threat. Or intimidation is what I'm trying to say, the word intimidation, because two of her black friends sits on the board, and Vince Jimmo, a retired police officer at that time, was the president of the board. So I just assumed that, and we know the president, we know the police officer put Trump in office. Gwen text message says that she would be at the board hearing on the 6th. She was going to be there also for that new executive, for a selection process for the new executive position. And so right after that board, well, Gwen showed up, first of all. Her name is not on the agenda. And she showed up to the board hearing with her and her friend Kathy. Kathy Coleman is married to a police officer also. So she shows up to the hearing. They were just kind of like spectators there. If there was the process that she was talking about, which she was going to be there for, it wasn't in that room, and it wasn't at that time. She was, her and Kathy was the only ones in that room with us. And so the board members, mostly from Reno and Carson City, whites and Hispanics only. And then Gwen, two friends was from Las Vegas. That's Annie and Gloria. Both of them are black, and they sit on the board in Las Vegas. Nevertheless, all of them loved the idea of my new program, except for the two black ladies who were giving Gwen them eye contact, raising the eyebrow up every time I say something. And the only way, see, I couldn't see Gwen because she sat behind me, but I could see the board members. They all sat up front, and I didn't want to give her that satisfaction of doubt to make it think that I was, paying attention to what they were doing anyway. So, but I can see the two black ladies to my far right. Both of them was giving Gwen eye contact, who sat behind me, like, raising the eyebrows up, like that bitch, kind of, sort of like that kind of stuff. Well, nevertheless, after that hearing, the board members commended me for having such a beautiful heart, for wanting to make this a nonprofit business, and for helping these young ladies who may have lost track or decided, or who let their license lapse, or for a re-entry program, or whatever it is. They were commending me for wanting to do such a thing, for having a beautiful heart, they said. And so after that, immediately, police officers would stalk my salon, coming up to the shop, and would just be stalking me for no reason. So the front of my salon, the cars kind of like line up like this. They line up like that. And my salon faces this lineup. So if I was standing here, if I was standing somewhere round about here, then the first set of cars would be parked right there, and my view would be facing those cars. And so they would come up there and just would sit there for no reason. One time, 4 of them drove up in there really fast. When I walked towards the window, they sped off really fast. Other times, they'll just come there and just be stalking me, just sitting there for hours. Now, my schedule, I don't have a certain time to be at work. My time going to work just fluctuate every day. And so I said that to say somebody had to be spying in on me to know exactly when I was going to show up, because the police officers always show up momentarily after I get there, or momentarily before I get there. And so today I got to work at, let's say, 8 in the morning. The next day I may not have got there until 9:15 or 7 in the morning or 11 o'clock. So my hours kind of fluctuate, just depending on the business that was there that morning. Early that morning, how much business would be waiting for me early that morning, and how late I may have gotten off of work. So my hours fluctuated. So somebody had to have had some type of CIA or federal kind of access to me to be able to show up. At the exact moment that I got there, knowing exactly when I was going to be leaving the house. So that was kind of weird. And I did make everybody in that shopping center, that plaza, I made them all aware of what was going on. So, like, most times, like, if I go on my lunch break and if I go to Porter Subs, which has been sold to somebody else since then, they'll say, yep, the police officer just showed up right when you was getting out the car. We watched him. He's out there for 2-3 hours. Or if I go to GNC, which was on the other side of me, he said, the man that be teasing me, the old white guy, couple, they left already. They bought them out too. And so he would say, What you did to them? They just got there right when you did. What you did to these folks? They been out there. We watched as soon as you pulled it. He came up like a second or two after you did, or a second or two before you did. So my clients would notice the same thing too. Somebody don't want me to talk. My voice is getting a little. So, anyways, nevertheless, I just this here scene today just remind me of 13. It just reminded me of 13. And another weird thing is that the person, Gwen address is 1911. This gate code over here is 1911 too. And so I'm not sure why is all this stuff here is happening, what this is all about. It appears to have something to do with my child too, because Mrs. House at Andre Agassi, a private school, in 2011, she called me and said, Lamaya's in here crying, stressing over a test. The counselor at the school. She said if she don't stop stressing over these tests when she goes out to college, she was going to be found dead, because most kids tend to hang themselves or commit suicide when they stress over these tests. Now, I thought that was really to the extreme, but at the same time, I said, no, my child, we just lost my mother, her grandmother, and I said, I have not seen her cry yet, so maybe she just came to you. Maybe she just came to you because, she didn't want to, add no extras on mama. So maybe she came to you like that. I'm surprised. I'm going to try. You probably can't see him from here, but he's still just sitting there. And maybe it may be good, bad, or ugly. Maybe it may not even be for me. And this is only the second day, so I'm not understand. It ain't like I've been here since the end of February, so it ain't like they never had no security here. So this is just the second day for the stocking kind of thing. And so, but nevertheless, Lamaya, I told her, I was just thinking, I told Mrs. House, I said, we just lost my mom, her grandma. Maybe she just having a hard time. She wants to come and vent out to you, because Lamaya was crying too. But Mrs. House just made that call in front of Lamaya to her mama to kind of threaten Lamaya's mother in front of Lamaya, trying to let Lamaya know that this thing was huge. So in 2007 or so, Lamaya was at the Graham Slam. That's what they call it, the Graham Slam. And it was an event at the MGM where they were selling dinners. They call them plates for $10,000 per person as a fundraiser for Andre Agassi. A few, like 3 to 4 of those girls got a chance to speak, or kids, I should say, spoke. If it wasn't nothing but a paragraph in front of that crowd. Lamaya was one of those chosen, and I was there with her. They didn't give us a plate. It wasn't it wasn't parent friendly. And this was like during that same time, that week or two or so during that same time. Today makes me think that they were selling kids, but nevertheless, this was around the time she went crying. And so Lamaya did speak. And when Lamaya spoke, the parents had to leave. We were kind of like behind the stage watching them speak on stage. They didn't make it parent friendly at all. They made it perfectly clear, looking back, that parents was not welcome. And so we were on the side of the curtain, behind the curtain. And then afterwards, we had to leave, and the teachers said they were going to be responsible for getting the kids back to the school. As when she was at Spelman, she should have been protected, because we cried so much. We hugged each other like we didn't want to depart from each other. Lamaya knew something then. That was in 2009. And we were the last ones to leave that parting service. It should be on camera. And Lamaya and I cried again like we were the two sisters from Color Purple that didn't want to leave each other. And the dean over there and those other women promised me that nothing would never happen to Lamaya. Yet, those women at Spelman give Lamaya a certificate that says departmental, one word, mental, departmental, not department, but departmental, as though her only escape was to be a mental patient, departmental. That is at Spelman College. They gave her that departmental certificate. And so I did find Catherine's minutes where she spearheaded these here meeting. And she was talking to all the heads of government. He's just gonna put himself in my video. They see I'm walking. I'm not intentionally trying to put nobody in it, okay? So I'm just holding it up, walking. Most times my head is down when I'm talking. So, but nevertheless, I kind of like forgot my thought where I was going with this. Oh, that meeting. But nevertheless, that meeting Catherine was in 2011 of December, was speaking to all of the heads of law enforcement in America. One person, like one person from Metro and Las Vegas Police, one person from the Department of Justice, one person from the Federal Bureau of FBI. And they titled this here meeting an enterprise. This is an intentional talk. They called it the Enterprise It meeting. And they spoke about, they were talking to people whose names insinuated other stuff. Whose names insinuated something else, such as Busta Man Adam. Like one word, Busta Man. Bustamante, something like that. Adam. Busta Man Adam. The other one was I Pen Chris. So these names kind of meant something, what they were doing. One was B Girl Hell Air, something like that. That's what the names are. That's what a lot of writings now are being read, with names that make a sentence or a name that's conveying a message. And so one was Be Hell Girl, the air, because all this is supposed to be, I have what you call the original certificate of title to all lands, to the earth, pretty much, because it's dated August the 9th, 1912 AD. My grandfather, born 1894, whose grandfather was all white German, had the deed and the title, the original certificate of title to planet Earth. He had it trickled down to him because his grandparents was the slave master, all white Jewish man, slave master. And so through skip generations, it trickled down to me. Now, Missouri pretty much awarded me such in 15. I didn't discover that title until 17. I didn't know anything about no inheritance until 17, after the Supreme Court ruled in my favor. Then I found this title. So now I see what this was all about. Someone thought that they would come after Lamaya, being that she was my youngest child, thinking that I was going to heir it to her. But they kind of like made the move too soon because I didn't know I had it. And I'm not to leave Lamaya nor Amaya not one penny, because I don't want nobody trying to hurt them, overthinking their mama have money, mama don't have overthinking that they're going to be the next heirs, and they not going to be a beneficiary nor an heir. I have to say that too, because I had, through New York whole life insurance company, I had a term insurance policy. One was term and one was whole life. That's for $1 million also. And I put both daughters down as the beneficiary. And so since then, through court papers and documentation, I took that away from them too. I don't even want them to be a beneficiary because they are being held in voluntary servitude. So they are minors. If they live to be 100 years old, on the records, they are considered a minor. They the minor in the fact in many instances, one in which they know nothing of the law. They know nothing about the law. So if they live to be 100 years old, they are still classified as a minor. Lamaya should never have anything pertaining to me, nor Amaya, nor any of their future generations. None. I'm going to will this here inheritance to another race altogether. I do not want any bloodline having this. Do not. Unless something changes in our favor in the far future. But all of this stems from Gwen Friend, who's a police officer. I shouldn't say it stemmed from them, but they are a part of it. And it seems like I can name about 50 incidents where police are involved. Once, when I went to go in May of 2013, when I went to Spelman College for Lamaya's graduation, we was at the American Deli, that's what the American Deli restaurant. Lamaya took Coco and I there. This man came over there. He was an officer. Tucker was his name. He came over there. He was talking to us as though he knew us. A lot of stuff he was saying put fear in us to make us think he knew us. And then when he left, first of all, he was looking my baby up and down like he was going to rape her with her eyes. He put like fear in me that day, as to say he was going to kidnap and rape my baby, Tuck Air. They use names like, because his name is Tuck Air. 200U classified K Air, that kind of thing. That's what his name could. I'm not saying it does mean it, but this is how they write with names and use these here criminals by their names. So Tuck, 200U classified K Air, that kind of thing. So they knew they were going to tuck her away. And another thing, because I felt like I lost her when she went to college, and we talking 2009 when she went to college. She has not been the same since then, and I promise you I have not even seen her a dozen times since 2009. And we talking about a kid who is so close with her mom that these kids been sheltered all their lives. She don't never go nowhere without her mom. I picked her first friend. I went to go visit with the family before she could start hanging out with that girl. So we talk about girls who was raised in a beauty shop. I had the business before Lamaya was born. I sent her to private schooling. So you talking about kids that really I'm talking about magnetism attached to the mom. So we ain't talking about any kids. So they can get away with the norm, perhaps with the regular black child. But mine went to work with me every day, and we stayed at work every day, all day long. And then we came home, they was just with me. We talking about a girl who loves to go shopping with her mom every time her mom go. We talking about a kid who loved to hang out at the bookstore with mommy. We talking about a mama who read to her child. We talking about mama who helped do all her homework. We talking about that kind of mom. We ain't talking about the stereotypical mom stuff y'all put on the average black child. We're not talking about that kind of a mom. We talking about a different kind of mom here in every aspect of the word. First of all, with that particular child, I took some over-the-counter fertility pills to get pregnant. So she was a planned birth. So I was trying to get pregnant with Lamaya. And again, this sheriff is still just sitting here. It may not be bad, and it may not even be about me, but again, this was the same behavior that started all this stuff right after the state board hearing in 2013. So most times my thoughts are causing more stalking, more retaliation, just my mere thoughts, and they know what they mean by that. Because of such, I have been under that title given to me for a long time now. Without my knowledge, I have been under a certain type of surveillance that I'm just finding out about. But if government was going to keep me under a certain level of surveillance because of the significant amount of inheritance, then now that when they said the Russian hackers, and Russia not meaning the country Russia, but when the Russian hackers did get involved, or as they was talking about it since 2013 and 14, then they knew that my life was turned upside down by the same means in which I was being, I don't know if you want to call it safeguarded or monitored. So by that very same means in which they put it there for me to be monitored or safeguarded due to some inheritance I'm not supposed to know about, or something else that maybe I may not know about, then it seemed like instead of talking about the Russian hackers every day since 13, they should have fixed my life back. Seemed like they should have fixed my life back. But now as it stands, I am without housing. I'm here with my daughter, whose situation, whenever they get ready, can just fuck it up, her situation, whenever they get ready. Everybody else getting stimulus. They won't even allow me to get money so that my unemployment has been improved twice. They won't allow me to work because you gotta remember my phone calls. I don't know if I'm just a protege or a pattern for how they want to mess up somebody else, another elite, because I have more than 50 credentials, federal credentials, from sitting on the federal board to the first CFC salon to a CDC. My daughter's protected through the private school, through the inheritance. But we own the world through that inheritance. I mean, you name it. I can go on and on and on. I'm an Eastern Star. So you go on and on and on. I'm supposed to be federally protected. But yeah, it appears that it may be them bothering me. And so I'm not understanding. They got access to me because they sold me into black market for movies and films. And that's another long story. So they do have access, and the digital coalition is involved. You got the grassroots coalition, you got the mega struck program, then you got the digital coalition. So all these people's here, and all the journalists also have access. So it is really no excuse for this. And then I filed motions to the court to ask them, by the same monitoring access that everybody else has, then for them to also, as a form of an emergency, get me some funds, get me my child back here. Because a case to this here magnitude, in which the feds, the presidents, and judges, all of them were involved, she was supposed to be with me anyways, because I sued all of these heads of operation in America and America itself. So I'm not still understanding how could they still be holding her hostage. When that case took place, she wasn't supposed to be in school. She wasn't supposed to be around nobody but me, because I went up against everybody in America. So she ain't supposed to be living in their apartment buildings. She's supposed to be with nobody but me. They can't use her for no crown, no queen, no nothing, because I sued absolutely everybody here. So I know about all these cases they stealing, and I know it's a lot of money. And it just so happened to, yesterday a friend of mine called and told me to be careful. And these people, when I say friends, they're not necessarily friends, because all of them are working against me. However, I still talk to them anyways. I don't really care. I don't let them know that. But I'm saying that on the record. So they all have conversation that's a little slightly threatening. So she just wanted to call me, tell me to be careful. And so when I see stuff that's suspicious, I just record it anyways, because this stuff may come back and help me at a future date. And so she said that yesterday. And so now I go take out the trash, 3 little small bags of trash. And the timing is always perfect, as everything is always so impulse. Popping in, popping out, popping in, popping out. That kind of behavior. And so I decided to record this, to record this information. I don't let none of it spook me, but I still have to record it because twice I was arrested without cause, twice in Vegas. So, in a sense, them holding my house, imagine going home, on vacation and come back and somebody just took your house and stole all your furniture and stuff and you don't know where nothing is. But that's what happened to me. But in a sense, at the same time, I don't let this stuff make me paranoia. I don't really necessarily stress the small stuff. I don't let them try to provoke me. As with Trump was asked, how you gonna deal with Syria? And he said, Pence, P-E-N-C-E, said, provoke her. And so I don't try not to let these people provoke me or none of that. I just continue to live my life. But I do write it anyways because I know blacks, especially the Bays, Moors, was trying to get a dead hero, as they do with all, killing their own people, trying to get a dead legend. So therefore, I'm not claiming white. I'm not claiming black. I'm not claiming nobody. What I am claiming for one of y'all entities to help me. If I say I'm claiming white, then white will try to kill you for the same legendary. If I say I'm claiming black, they'll try to do the same. In America, when you black, you can't be no kind of a living legend. They only like dead legends for blacks. So I can't claim none of them. I'm claiming my individuality. I'm claiming my sovereign. And I went up against the entire America. But through sound inducements, all of them are trying to claim me. So if one say they can help, sure, the court's ruled in my favor, but all are blocking the funding. They lying on the digital. No. I asked the judges to use special delivery by any means necessary to deliver me funds since 2015. I say the same thing on the thousands of documents. To deliver me emergency funding, not through intimidating services such as sheriffs and police officers and all that, because those are intimidating. That's an intentional threat. Just the mere fact of the truck being there is an intentional threat, especially since you've been threatening me with the presence of the police officers since 2013, and especially since you have arrested me twice for no reason. You just didn't arrest for no reason. I asked that first officer, I said, is this some kind of prank? He said, no, the judge want to talk to you. And then I said, when we got in the car, I said, you ain't reading my rights. He said, so I don't have to. There's a black girl with him. She says, aren't you grannies? I said, yeah. She was looking like feeling some kind of a way. Energy from her was a little slight different, some kind of a way. So, and matter of fact, did I tell you, I was at the Clark County Library on the 4th floor filing a document for stalking and harassment against Catherine Cortez Mesa, the former Attorney General of Nevada. And now the senator. How did that happen? I don't know. But that's who I was filing my case against. And this is public information because it's public records. And you will see it's Samaya Hodges versus Cortez Mesa, XL. All rights are reserved. But I was up there preparing or attempting to prepare a doc because I'm trying to work. And I was on Craig and Joan at the salon trying to work. But they kept stalking me every day up there. And so I was trying to work. And I invested too much money when I got back. I bought all brand new everything. Equipment, furniture, everything. Trying to work. But I'm not able to work because they keep harassing me. I couldn't work at all. And so I said, let me just file the stalking and harassment that day. So that day when I did it, and before I can prepare it, the officer come up there and arrest me for stalking and harassment. Now, I don't know what's the big deal behind my name other than it appears that my family may have a whole lot of involvement. I'm not sure. But it appears that they could have. And then again, I hope that if they did, they turned around because I thought these people loved me, especially here in Houston, the Lawsons. They gave me no indication ever, not personal, face-to-face contact, no indication, not even a tiny inkling of them not liking me, not even a tiny inkling. But others are trying to insinuate, mainly electronic interference and harassment. So to the Lawsons out there, I pray y'all blessings. I don't have an enemy, not in America, not on planet Earth. I don't have an enemy. And y'all, with all this that y'all doing to me for no reason, I saw all kinds of stuff that said you were going to take the house regardless. In 2003, 1995, 2003, they was going to take it anyways. 1993, 1994, I was in Minneapolis shopping at Sears. I paid $1,200 for some merchandise for my nieces and nephews for some clothing. As I was leaving, the officer says, that truck is still there, sheriff's truck is still there. And I'm just walking around doing a lap, walking. And try to get an hour in today. But the officer said, we have to check your bag. I said, no, here's my receipt. They said, I know, but we have to check your bags. Anyways, because we was going to fire that guy that rang you up. And he's been giving people too big of a discount. Well, if you know that, why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you go out to him? Why you want to arrest me if you knew that? And he said he knew that. He said we was going to fire him that day. This police officer for giving people too big of a discount. So you just gonna happen to just wait till it's my turn for him to ring me up? And gonna watch him give me a huge discount and then gonna arrest me for him supposedly giving me a big discount. So that's the third of the false arrest. So, but nevertheless, that guy says, man, I don't know her. And I'm saying, I don't know him. And my records, electronic files will verify everything that I'm saying. And so, was charged on my serious charge card. So it seemed like someone has been trying to force me into the law for a long time. And I think the plot was, if they can force me and do a unlawful act, these are blatant unlawful acts. For them to do a blatant unlawful act, they thought they could chase me to the law, and this time they succeeded. And then once they chased me to the law, they thought they were just going to steal my inheritance, my child, my property, and everything else. My baby, Lamaya, was with me. She was about 2 years old when that serious incident happened, maybe 3. I had to hurry up and call someone to come and get her. They was threatening to take her to orphanage den. So it appears that someone's been stalking and knowing about this here inheritance, because it's been in my possession since 1995. I never knew nothing about it until 2017, because I'm just studying my life like, what's happening? I don't bother nobody. I don't do nothing to upset or hurt nobody. I never had a fight a day in my life. I don't drink, smoke, nor do drugs. Never have. So I can't understand why that all of this here would be happening to me. I can't understand that to save my life. For somebody who dotted every I and crossed every T, who was perfect, especially in the sense of a moral human being. So this is not supposed to be how Mother Nature won't make this mistake. This was somebody who preyed upon me and my child. This is somebody who stalked and prayed and was following that inheritance. Now, I do know that Catherine's father and John Henry's Hoffman's oldest son, who went off to the war and died in 45, he came back to be buried in 49. I do know that they both knew each other when they went off to World War II. They both knew each other then. So I'm thinking they probably make up that 5G. So there's long histories of somebody following and stalking this here This inheritance that used to be once the Germans. Somebody really wanted that, and they moved too soon by trying to go after Lamaya. Because I didn't will it to it. I don't have no intentions on it. I don't have no intentions on sharing anything with it. Or none of my other family for that matter. Now, it's in fee and simple. I have an absolute in fee and in simple. What that means is that I can will it to anyone I want, black, white, yellow, or green. I can will it to anybody I want to. And it does not have to have bloodline. And I would do that not because I want my bloodline poor, but because I don't want my bloodline harmed. Too many people fighting over this stuff. Not that I don't wish for them to be poor. I just don't wish for them to have to go through any of this here horrific CIA torture, judicial terrorism, espionage kind of terrorism stuff. I don't want them to have to undergo such, because this is horrific. You're talking about a person who has more than 6,000 people has her cell phone number, and she can't get not one phone call. See, that's right there tells you who's doing it. That tells you that all my calls are being rerouted. All my emails are being blocked. And so that tells you exactly what is going on if I don't say another word. This is a celebrity who's an internationally known celebrity that somebody's been watching me forever, so they knew exactly how to come after me. So one day I'm just at work, enjoying my work, and like I said, I had the franchise. I even got a franchise attorney who already prepared the paperwork, everything. And I pay taxes ahead of time, which means I pay estimated taxes before they're even due. I had a CPA and a bookkeeper. You know I can't even get my tax returns. All the money that I invested in America, not to mention America made trillions of dollars off of me. And yet I can't even get the little bit of money that I paid into the system, like your Social Security, your unemployment, your withholdings, returns. I can't even get that back. Do you know I paid $1,000 a month for that red Hummer truck? That was only about $35,000. But because I was upside down, so they say, in another vehicle, they made me pay $1,000 a month for that truck. And I did it for 6 years. And now you just gonna come during the times, during the recession, during all those times, I'm struggling like a mug. And I paid that truck off for them to just come and just steal it. But it's okay. Maybe God allowed things to happen for a reason, I said. And so I'm without freedom of movement, freedom, I'm without liberty. I did see where they said the police officer going to cause, whether they white or black or all, one of the worst civil rights or human rights violation known to the world, to take over the title. And that's why so many blatant evils. That's why so many blatant incidents. Because these people don't have no reason knowing my name. I'm under the radar. Under the radar meeting, I'm just perfect, always just trying to do the right thing. I'm not going to do nothing that's going to land myself one day in nobody's jail. And so that's why they keep me here at this apartment and won't give me my house back, because they want to control these here prisons. The apartments are none other than prisons. The gate locked. You can't go out of it if you wanted to. That gate over there is locked. You have to wait on the car to come by to get out. If somebody was chasing you, I'm just doomed. So this is just a prison anyways. And you see across the street is nothing but land over there. And so I'm just stuck to live here because I have nowhere else to go. I have a home. I have a business. I have all that. But one of the things which these here corrupt folks was trying to do was they thought they could, all my life, groom a stunt somebody. If you want to call them a stunt or a lookalike or actor somebody, and take my place. So that's why one day I'm at work at the hype of my game, and then the next day, dang, I'm just involved in the situation. I don't even know how I got here. And so I know they're trying to get their stunt or they lookalike to come in and steal that inheritance. Well, another thing, I think whoever was, government, British people, whomever it was, I thank them for back in the days for such a monitoring device, because all those monitoring devices comes with their own like serial numbers or chipping or code numbers, stuff like that. So my whereabouts, I asked everybody on planet Earth that has the ability to keep me safe by monitoring and tracking me 24/7, to include my skeletal x-rays. They know what I mean. For those who know my skeletal x-rays, what that means is that they can say, oh, somebody, you got into an altercation and hit this girl over the head. Well, my skeletal x-rays at that time point, in that time frame, that exact moment would say, no, she was standing up in that parking lot holding her keys in her hand and her phone, talking through the phone. So, see, police officers have been so in the past knowing how to frame an individual of a crime, try to hem them up in jail. I don't belong in those kennels. I'm not a dog. I don't belong in those kennels. And so they've been knowing forever how to frame people of a crime. So in a sense, I'm kind of glad I'm kind of like away from everybody, but I am in their territory. I'm on their grounds. And so, like the other day, I took out the trash, and when my daughter is in there sleeping, I take the key and lock the door, even just to do simple tasks, to secure and lock the door. And I take every precaution. But this time when I got ready to lock the door, the key wasn't working. And she has one of those like locks that you have in hotel rooms. For some, they enjoy the luxury of opening and closing their door remotely with their phones. But to others who know better, like me, know that you can be locked out of your apartment whenever somebody get ready to. If you did this much damage to me with that, they did this much damage to me with their Russian hacker stuff and ruined my life electronically. I totally disencourage everybody from getting electronic locks, because anybody can block you. They doing this much blocking. They shut my bank account down once when I had cash in it electronically. So this is too much. I've been going through this here stuff. I've been knowing about it since about 10. I started sending letters out maybe 12 or 13. Then I started trying to study the law in 13 to pursue it in court in 14. And I have not gotten anywhere. I got all these orders and judgments, but the police officers, they feel to think that they run the courts and they steal everybody's case they want. And so I have not gotten anywhere. I wrote every dignitary, every pastor, every pope. Well, not every pope, but I wrote every Christian person that I had the address for. And I still can't get no help, America. I know y'all trying to parade some queen around. Lamaya is not a queen. Lamaya is not a whore. Lamaya is not a mental patient. Lamaya is none of these things. Lamaya should be secured right here with her mom. This case was too significant for me not to have had any protection. I went up against every federal agent, every federal judge, every police officer, everybody. This case was too significant. And so I was awarded the money, protection and money. So even if America, law enforcement did not want to give me, did not want to cover me or protect me, they should have given me my money. So my baby don't have to feel like she has to cooperate for shelter and food. Because I could have had money and paid for a private security crew. Or I could have paid for a crew, or we could have left this country and got some security that way. But for me to be going up against, for all this time, since 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, for me to be going up against the entire America, all of its law enforcement agencies, all of its government officials, all of its judges, for me to be going up against y'all, and y'all withholding simple stuff like unemployment that I paid into, y'all withholding of my federal tax returns that's owed to me, y'all withholding all this kind of stuff, y'all blocking me from working. You won't even give me the house or the truck that I paid for. My house is paid for. They won't even give me the house or the truck or my furniture that I paid for. I think that shows plotting for one of the blatant crimes known to the world, for a takeover or for a civil war. I ask military, don't fight for me at mine. Don't fight for me, Lamaya or Maya. Don't fight for, don't use this here as no blatant act when y'all could prevent this stuff right now. Don't use this as a blatant act to make us heroes. We don't want to be your heroes that way. I'm sorry. I don't want to be your dead heroes, America. We do not want to be your dead heroes. Find some little Mexicans, whites, Indian, Asian, or whoever else, or even another black. But we don't want to be your dead heroes, America. Yeah. God came to give me life and more life abundantly. That's what your Bible says. And now I wish to live a happy, healthy, prosperous, productive life with my family and enjoyment thereof, America. That's your Constitution. I don't care about all the money that was awarded because I'm giving it all back or I'm going to donate. So I don't care about all of that. I don't care about none of that. You could just give me what you owe me and I'm okay. Give me my child back. She was pre-planned, America. She said your black police officers been torturing her and beat up on her. When I asked her how was her life, it was fine, she said, until I came out the womb. Then I said, well, what happened then? She says the ghetto people started beating up on me. I said, well, who are the ghetto people? I said, the white, the ghetto people. She said, no, blacks are ghetto people. So I know when I was in Carbondale, a police officer was following her, stalking her. And I don't know his color, but she did say black people just beating up on her. So they make her, she tried to run away, black go get her. That car she had was being paid for by a federal agent. She's on the Federal Bureau of Investigation website on that picture. They got her picture on their website. Officer Tucker was a black guy. Gwen Chaney and Catherine Coleman's husband is a black officer. So all of them, and during the time in the 15, 16, 17, they were saying for me to give them $200 trillion. Now, how foolish is this? America don't even have $200 trillion. America is $50 trillion in debt. But they were, all the blacks were promised and was trying to force $200 trillion out of me, or they gonna cause my baby mental retardation, they said. They were gonna kill her and or call her mental retardation unless I get them $200 trillion. This got to be a damn movie. This has to be a dream or a nightmare. I don't have 200 pennies, 200 pieces of bubble gum. I can't even collect 200 leaves. Let's not get them $200 trillion damn dollars. This has to be some kind of a dream. Where y'all getting this $200 trillion from? And if white man promised y'all, how can he promise you $200 trillion when the country is in debt? The country is broke. How can they promise y'all $200 trillion for a country that's broke? That's in deficit all the time. It always has been. So y'all gonna hold her. Some say they gonna hold her in a mental institution until I produce that $200 trillion. Everybody's holding her. She can't do nothing for her mom. She can't come see her mom. She can't look her mom in the eye. She can't do shit unless I pay them $200 trillion. So my whole life been turned upside down for this bullshit. I'm not giving nobody. If I had it, I wouldn't give it to you. America should not have enticed the crabs in the bucket. As far as Catherine is concerned, y'all don't have nothing. Y'all can steal what you want. That ain't my business. If the world don't mind y'all steal what you want. I don't care. Steal, take what you want. If the world don't care, I don't care. I stay that inheritance. And if I should die, it's going right back to the pure white Germans, not the new black Germans. In other words, they trying to have mixed children and then trickling down to the mixed children to all white children. I said no bloodline. I said no bloodline. None. And I said to the 100% pure race, indefinitely, there's not a trickle down German bloodline. Not a trickle down. I don't want no trickle down. If you got any black blood in their body, they cannot have it. Any other Mexican or Indian, anything other than theirs, a solid pure race for the last 20 generations, they cannot have it. For the last 20 generations, y'all, all pure white German. If I don't get the chance to make that will, that means that those taxes that I'm claiming, that peace treaty, America entered into a peace treaty with me. And for 53, they entered into a peace treaty with me at 15. And they still torture me. I can't even drive. I got to walk it in this hot with this laser beam beaming on me 24/7. I got to walk with this laser beam. I'm being held like this one guy made a video in Vegas. He called it the rain cell. Like I'm being held prisoner by the rain and the laser beam. I can't even walk nowhere. He made the video. I just watched it the other day. So I can't even watch it. I can't even walk nowhere due to that. Where you go? You see it? Due to their laser beam. Right there. You know the sun, first of all, is 1 billion times bigger than planet Earth. The sun is always yellow and it's 1 billion times bigger. But I can't walk nowhere without this thing feel like it's just right here on my back. I can't go nowhere. This is a government test site here. And I've been held electronically hostage because they won't give me, I can't drive. I can't live in my own house. I don't even have money to buy food. I wear 2 different pair of drawers every day. Wash one today, put on the other tomorrow. Wash one day, put on the other tomorrow. Yeah. That's how I live. My clothes is in a storage on the outside of the house. Everything I own is on the outside of the house in the storage. So I have maybe 30, 40 new pairs of drawers. Yes, I do. Or not new, but new and good ones combination. But who wants to keep unpacking all that heavy shit every day just to get to your clothing? So I can't even wear no decent drawers because that stuff is so packed down in the storage. I have to wear the same ones and the same clothes that I got about 3 pairs of stretch pants out. These are ones my daughter gave me. So I had to wear 2, 3 pairs of stretch pants. See, we talking, this stuff been going, I've been a fugitive since 15 on the road. My cases have been ordered and judgments in my favor. These are not poor man cases. There's a status called poor man case if you need like help or you can file. They say you can file, here's a trick. You can file a case in court as your self-help stuff. But they automatically think they own you as a subject. So you file and they're going to order it. All orders mean it's in your favor. All orders in your favor. But the wording underneath the order may sound like it's not in your favor. But all orders are in your favor. But what they do is they'll hem you up with that order for 20 billion years because they've been stole the case. They give you, say you can file it without money, but that's a lie. Because if you file it without money, you filing it saying that you are a slave. You are indebted to this country. But I filed mine cash money. I paid thousands of dollars with the books and everything included. I didn't even use the library the first time. I filed mine with cash money under my business account because my business take care of me. My business is an LLC. My business is protected. And I filed that case using my Chase business account ending in 6298. I went to Professional Legal Services and had Catherine and Eric Holder subpoena twice. Neither one of them showed up for court. You know, there should have been a contempt of court. But nevertheless, Judge Kirshner did rule in my favor. She said, I ruled in your favor, somebody, what do you want? I told Judge Linda C. Anderson I wanted somebody arrested. Catherine, at that time, was the only one to the case. She should have, if none other, took that case. She should have took that hit. If Judge Kirshner ruled in my favor and I said you killed my dad, you did this, you did that, all that on that complaint, then if she ruled in my favor, doesn't that mean that Catherine was found guilty of murder and all the other stuff that I alleged, all the other stuff that I alleged? So what happened to America? That was in 2014, and then she comes back and y'all allow her to beat up on my baby, kidnap my family, force all of my family out of my life, all this here penage, Mexican servitude crime shit, holding Lamaya hostage. She was, once that case came ruled in my favor, Catherine was not supposed, according to the Article 2 of that Constitution, of the big Constitution, the Constitution of the United States of America with all of its analysis and interpretations. She was not supposed to be senator. I don't care if y'all got this world or two Las Vegas or two Americas. She was not supposed to be a senator, but Harry Reid put it there anyways. She was not supposed to, because once she has been found guilty, that's the same as an impeachment because she's an officer. They said she was not supposed to enjoy any more of America's or its government's rights or privileges. She definitely shouldn't be having access to me. Definitely should not. So how is 14 and 21 and she been having my baby hostage? I don't know what's going on with my baby. She can't call me, and sometimes when she calls me, it's just the same mimic conversation like it's an old recording. So I don't know what's wrong with Lamaya. She is just not my child, and she's not the same. All those girls in Las Vegas, they was trying to let me know that supposedly Catherine forced her into the White House as a White House hoe or sex slave or all this old kind of stuff. I don't know what's going on. It's just hearsay. It was just hearsay. And then I read all of her stuff that she writes, Catherine's stuff that she writes, and everything says that she helped protect the Nevadans and their properties. Slavery is abolished and prohibited in Las Vegas. All this kind of stuff. But I even have a proclamation in my favor because I submitted the application to Governor Sisolak, I think his name, in June 2020. He honored that Emancipation Proclamation. If nothing else, in 20 of June, Catherine was supposed to release Lamaya. Slavery was prohibited in America. Slavery is prohibited in Las Vegas. The governor told her to give that girl back. The governor told Catherine to give her back, but instead they let this lady out in 2014 to torment and torture me and my babies. They left her out on the prowl to do whatever she want under gaming. They call killing people fun. They call it gaming. Now, these are the people who needs to be evaluated, a psych evaluation. Anytime you can just kill a multitude of people and you calling it fun, I think that's another Helter Skelter. That's another Jeffrey Dahmer. That's another Waco something. That's just these are sick people. Anytime they can kill all these people and torture and abuse all these people like that, and they call it gaming. Las Vegas they want to be devils. They want to be known as the devils. So anytime a person want to be known as a devil, I think that's a sick individual. That's a schizophrenic. That is a very sick individuals. They need some serious help. And my daughter needs to be away from them. One of her homework, it wasn't even a homework, it's some psych evaluation papers they gave her. And the paperwork says psych U-World blocked. All her paperwork looks like she's been in some mental institution. I have them. It says psych U-World blocked. Her world was blocked. That U stuff is government. So it says psych U-World blocked. And one of those documents, she circled something that says agents of the devil. So I'm not the only one that think they're devils. Lamaya think all of them are possessed. And you have to be possessed to just killing people for fun. Again, that's another Helter Skelter shit. That's another Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer. That's some more Silence of the Lamb, Hannibal Lecter kind of shit. So these people have to be, something is wrong with this woman. She has to be mental. And yet America still allows her to hold my baby all this time. Anytime you call mass killing, you just having fun killing people. Something is truly wrong with y'all. Because see, my conscience won't let me hurt a soul. Y'all can't even make me hate you. I can't even hate this woman. You know that? I can't hate. I just want my baby. Hate would not live here in my heart. I don't plan on doing nothing ever to land me one day in jail. I'm not going to do nothing. They didn't threaten me with postal stuff, with kid stuff, with what else? Trying to agitate me. want to blame other prior crimes that they have done on me. All kinds of little sick shit all kinds of stuff they doing. And I still can't get no help, but my case was against all of them. And I'm going to close with this one. On that 14 complaint with Kissinger, with Judge Kissinger, which he ruled in my favor, there was a fact, one of these prima facie facts, of a girl named Tammy Bryars. Tammy Bryars came into my salon. All rights reserved. This here information is not meant to be misleading, incriminating, and or to harm anyone. It's just here being that I have no one helping me. I am an individual. I have to put facts out there in the open. Those are claiming to be people, because I wrote the people court, they too refused to help. I wrote the people's court also. I wrote the trial court also. I'm still waiting to go to trial. So anyways, I have to say this because I'm naming names. And these are all, and it's out there because these are all names that's on the complaint. And the law tells me I could do this. But it's not meant to assassinate anyone's character or reputation. These are just what you call prima facie facts. And all of my facts are open to the public because I am representing the worldwide peoples globally. So these facts are open to the world. So Tammy comes in and she says, I'm a salon stylist at this time, and it was one of those days when we're doing our $99 hair weave specials. We're super busy. So the sign-in list is not too far, a few feet away from my chair. So after she signs in, she comes over and she says, this is a white girl now, I want to learn how to do extensions, she says. I said, oh, okay, that's good. She said, I don't want to do nothing else. I just want to learn how to do extensions. I said, you don't want to do no hair coloring or hair cutting? No, just extensions. So she trying to tell me she only want to do black hair, basically, is what she's saying. Now, this came in January. I was in court with Gwen for that restraining order in October. 3 months later, when Gwen stated on the application that Samaya has issues that concerns her, and because of such, she ended that friendship over a year ago. Now, mind you, I proved to y'all that we've been talking throughout the year. But she said she ended it over a year ago. But nevertheless, she tried to say I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. The judge ruled in my favor also. Gwen, Samaya has to, right? He said, do she call you? No. Do she stalk you? No. Do she do this? No. Do she do that? No. Do y'all run in the same circles? No. I'm just puzzled, like, well, why are we here for this restraining order? Other than I know that police officers sometimes make you file a restraining order against their target under military law so they can start kidnapping your family under military laws as casualties. And so, other than that fact, because she did say the Internal Affairs told her to file the restraining order, Gwen said that on the paper that the Internal Affairs told her to do that. She said, somebody don't bother me. Somebody don't communicate with me. We don't have no beef. She don't try to contact me by no means. The Internal Affairs told me to file this order. And so, anyways, 3 months later, Tammy Bryars wanted to do the weave, the white girl. Now, I met her a year prior. She forgot. She rides with the No Rules, No Dues motorcycle club. And that's the Trina's club, Trina Motorcycle Club. And she rides with that. Her and Trina were best friends. She forgot. She told me that a year prior. And so she continued on about wanting to go to school. So she said, what school should I go to? I said, well, why don't you go to Marinella's? That's just a white school. I know she was hoping to get a conversation out of me about expertise, but I didn't give it to her. I knew who she was. She may have forgot. They thought they could sneak her in there because she hadn't been in there in over a year. They thought they could sneak her in there and lure me into a conversation. So she says, I said, why don't you go to Marinella's? She said, well, some people told me to go to expertise. I say, they're your friends, aren't they? Aren't they like that? She kind of looked real dumbfounded, like, oh, shit. And so she went ahead and sat down and waited till somebody called her name, because my style of services, it's like the DMV. You have to wait till your number is called. So after she signed in, got a little place in line, she went and sat down. I didn't do her hair, but on the way out, she had to see me because everybody has to pay at the cash register on the way out. So she came back over there this time, and for all those who are listening, just check her phone records. That was March 2nd on a Sunday, 2014. Well, because she came back, and now she struck up another conversation. She's a paralegal now. And she's a paralegal. She said, girl, we got this huge case in court. And she says that it involves a lot of federal agents, police officers, attorneys, and judges. She said, and snitches get found in ditches. That's on that 14 complaint. Kissinger knew this, so I'm not sure why they didn't. Being that this case, they were stalking me for federal agents, police officers, private investigators, and judges. I don't know why they wouldn't offer me money so I could protect myself, or just allow me to work. I can keep myself grounded in my shop instead of taking everything from me. So, but nevertheless, she said snitches get found in ditches. I said, somebody didn't get found. Y'all going to court. So that was a Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I started trying to seek some legal help. I started trying to get me an attorney. Everybody was all my phone calls were being rerouted. Everybody was just playing on my phone. One guy called Harry Reid's office. That's Monday. I called his office. It's a black guy answered the phone. He was very polite, and I like he was trying to help. But he got a call. He put me on hold. Asked what everybody do. They put me on hold. When they put me on hold, they come back with a whole new demeanor. And so he too at Harry Reid's office did the same thing. I called Stephen King, this is in California, Beverly Hills, because his website said he could handle my case. They blocked every email and every phone call. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go drive to California. Me and Derek, I get all the way to California. The receptionist told me she couldn't make that appointment in person with me. I had to call him or send him an email, knowing that they blocking every phone call, every email. I drove all the way there to Beverly Hills, stayed there overnight. That's just to try to get a personal one-on-one appointment set up. Do you know they blocked that too? They wouldn't even let me use that. So before I left, I'm still trying to tweak everything. So before I left California, Beverly Hills, I done spent like $350 just on this one room for this night with the valet parking and everything. And before I left, I got up super early that morning because I drove with my friend Derek. I got up super early that morning. And I went walking for about an hour out of the way. I stopped at Staples. I didn't take no purse, no electronics, no nothing with me. I stopped at Staples to use the phone. Somehow that receptionist at Stephen King's office knew that was me again. Like Samaya, she was being nasty. She knew that was me. I was like, how is this possible? And so then, as I was approaching the hotel, a block or so or two away from the hotel, I started a conversation with a stranger at a bus stop. I said, do you mind if I use your phone? I used the phone. The lady again, sure enough, called out my name, somebody. She knew that was me again and blocked me. So it didn't matter if I used a business phone or if I used a stranger phone. I don't have no devices on me to my knowledge. I didn't have no cell phones, no purse, no keys, no nothing. And the room key is just what that is. But somehow they keep on blocking all of my communication and efforts. So on the way back home, Keith texted me. He is my guy that sells me the commercials. He texted me and he said, did you get through yet? Making fun of the fact that I drove all the way to Beverly Hills, 4 or 5 hour drive, and didn't make no progress, just a wasted trip. So he texted me. I got that on text messages. I have it. Did you get through yet? He's a black guy also. So you see, in 14, before I knew all of this, March, and before that case against Catherine, I was being Tammy Bryant pretty much let me know that Trina and the no rules, no dues, and the feds, all of them was working together. Because Tammy Bryant said it out of her own mouth. Tammy Bryant, said that she was a paralegal, and her case that she was working on involves federal agents, police officers, private investigators, and all the judges, federal judges. Tammy Bryant, a white lady, said that out of her own mouth, and that she was best friends with Trina. So see, that's probably why Gwen and Trina is being protected for some simple, petty beauty shop stuff. I put that on that 14 complaint. But the day of that restraining order, October 4th, 2013, Gwen came dressed in there as a whole, wearing all gray. And government, what they do is, gray always means dead, death, or horn. She wore a gray miniskirt with some opaque tights under and a gray blazer. October 4th, 2013. May 2013, remember Officer Tucker was bothering me too in May. So something was going on with Lamaya. Maybe it had something to do with them selling child prostitution in Las Vegas, and Lamaya has been a part of something since she was about 10 years old or so. Maybe everybody is protecting that child prostitution ring that's going on in Las Vegas. And it appears that that's why they keep my child away from me, because she has been through some horrific stuff through this child prostitution in Las Vegas. So all of the people in America decide to just keep her, my baby, kidnap her, force us into separatism to prevent Lamaya from talking. She was blocked from schools. They started raping her at Spelman, which is a Christian school. Or they may have started at the private school, Andre Agassi, but also at Spelman College as well. Remember, she was going to departmental at Spelman College. She went over to Paris in 2009 because this white man, Andre Agassi, he loved black children so much. He wanted to see them have a better opportunity. So he sent his class of about 25 students at government cost to Paris. Lamaya was one of the students, as well as Gwen, them niece. Tamika was another student, and the other 23 students all went over there to Paris. Barack Obama was over there the same week. So, and then I found a story online that talks about the porn man over in Paris in 2009. So I'm thinking, could that have been his initiation before he became president over there? Why was he over there at the same time my child Lamaya was over there at 9? Somebody already who could afford to buy a plate at that MGM for $10,000 had already molested her. The reason why they kept her, it was not parent friendly. The reason why she went crying to his house in the first place, because it was not parent friendly. So Lamaya was trying to seek some help in 2007. Who molested her at that MGM? $10,000 a plate. What else was they paying $10,000 for? And who else? All the politicians was there. All the government officials, the government people were there. Who was all there? Lamaya eyes been cameras all her life as well too. So this information, anybody globally can find out this information. So all this is stemming from Lamaya being molested. And Gwen's mother sits on a president of the educational board in Las Vegas. Trina had dealings with DECA, another government educational program for kids. So you see why they are being protected. So how many of y'all pay $10,000 to lick her? How many of y'all did that? And let's go and pull up her records, why she was crying, why she was scared to tell me. Why Miss House said she was going to be murdered when she went off to college. Not murdered, I'm sorry. She said why she's going to be killed, she may hang herself. And then when she goes off to college, why she's giving all of this here intimidating psychiatric like recovery paperwork. And why are the feds paying for her car? And why can't be with her mama? Supposedly she just moved to Dallas, and Gwen them has a friend over there monitoring her. One of the friends that she was staying with when she first got there in Dallas is Gwen them friend also. So supposedly she don't want to live with her mama. Now a kid that been abused don't want to live with their mama for real. But yeah, she can stay with these people over there that Gwen them know. In Dallas. Now supposedly she have a job online. She went to school damn near 15 years to be a doctor. And supposedly she has a job online with some petty teaching bullshit. If she can work a job online, she can work a job online right here with me and Coco. She can work a job online anywhere. Why is she someplace where she don't want to be? She wished to be with her mama, America. I don't care what she witnessed, what rituals y'all used her in, because she was at that White House a million times. Michelle paperwork states on the record that with that poetry ceremony that they had, whatever poetry means to them, she was talking to Lamaya conscious. And Lamaya was at that White House at that ritual, that ceremony. Michelle's Obama's vegetation, she has a small White House outside the grounds of the White House. That vegetation, a vegetable garden or whatever that is, she mentioned making them permanent fixtures in the White House. So making us permanent White House holes, she says. That's what she meant. All rights reserved. I can't say that's what she meant. Let me just rephrase that. But that's the way I interpret it. A permanent fixture in the White House. And then it mentioned something about 1940. 1940, there was no human or civil rights, as we are being deprived of both civil and human rights in America. But that's how it was in 1940. She mentioned 1942. Now, why are we being deprived human rights in America, the land of the milk and honey, the land of the motherfucking opportunities? I've been an individual all my life. I had my business before Lamaya was born. Before she was born, she went to private school, and I had my business before she was born in America. She is a part of my business, her and Coco. And she was a planned baby. I can't help because y'all all fucked her. Every law enforcement fucked her according to Catherine's enterprise. They wanted an enterprise. America found a way to get paid to profit this country. So they intentionally do these pimp and hoe schemes. Enterprise it. So because if they want her, they making it blatant. So they want you to take the court. They want you to win, but then they just want to come back and steal the case, as they always have. But I don't want the case, and I don't necessarily have to win. I just want my child back and stay the case, give it away, donate it, or do whatever. I just want my child back with the understanding. And so I saw in the Ecclesiastic canon law, it says that I can be paid for a private wrong. So if she went to Paris with whomever and was a part of some porn show, a government porn show in Paris, if she was a part of y'all ritual sexual favors, your men parading around here with girl clothes on, somebody said she's penetrated in the back by these here gay politicians. They said she was involved in threesomes by these here elected officials, all these here insane psychopaths using this little kid. Whatever it was, I'm trying to think the worst. Some say they held her in a dungeon. Some say they had her locked up in the prison. Some say they put her in a kennel. Some say they did everything they could to make her go crazy so they could steal her through the state, they thought. And then they was going to try to make mama go crazy, hoping to steal us both through the state and steal the inheritance. Guess what? Mama is stronger today than she was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Only thing mama is, she's waiting on y'all to give her house back. She wants to go back to work, give me my business back, give me my house back, and give me my truck back that I paid for. Y'all don't have to give me a dime, and I'm going to reverse all that court stuff, knowing that the government chased me to the courts just so y'all can steal it to fatten this country. I wish to reverse it. And whatever you did to Lamaya, that blatant evil that y'all did, now trying to make her a queen, still helping you steal the money that her mama fought for. She can't have it. She cannot have y'all just taking it, but she can't have it. I wish to state all that stuff, America. And I also did a separation of property. So if they're going to try to take my shit through the state, I fooled them again. Because I did what you call a separation of property. Mine can't never be taken through the state, never. My inheritance say it can never be taken through no court order, no fake contract. No contract. It cannot be taken through the courts or appeal. It cannot be taken through the court. And so I did what you call a separation of property. And what that means is that I separated all of my asset, everything I had, I kept in mind as it was before all this here mess began in the court. So all that's still mine. That inheritance is still mine. My house, my daughter, my babies, my intellectual property, my real property, my personal property, all that's still mine. And everything that I sued America for is on its own, is in its own separate folder on its own side. So they can attempt to steal that. But I did a separation of property. So all that was mine is still mine. All that was America is still tied up. All that was is still tied up. Now I wish to work at all times. I got a couple other business ventures that I had in plan anyways, that I was already planning. So I'm not a lazy person. I've been out here talking to y'all for a while in this hot beaming sun. Every day I either have to walk in this beaming sun or walk in some pouring down rain here in Houston. Now it rains practically every other day, but yet we got all these dead trees, a dead bush right there in front of Coco's house. Trees can't die like that with all this kind of rain here. It's impossible for a tree. So this is, let me know, some type of government test site or something. That tree ain't got no business being that dead over there, and it rains every other day around here. Something is terribly wrong. These trees, as you see back over there, these trees and trees off the freeway and the highways, they last hundreds and thousands of years. But some of these trees over here, they dead from the root with all this rain. So this must be some type of government test site. That I'm on Avenue E, as in Eastern, as in East Coast, as with government, Avenue E. The gate code is 119. I wrote the circuit court, a black lady, circuit court in St. Louis, who ruled in my favor. I wrote her on the 13th of last month. I'm still waiting on a response. I had to write it on some green paper, handwritten, because I couldn't get it typed and printed. But I do have stamps, and I was able to handwrite something and send it to her. And I took pictures of it. And as of 15 up until the present, every day I'm still saying I need some emergency funding. I am my attorney, but if you don't want to pay me for representing myself, then I'm also the victim. You have to pay me from victim rights funds. I sued my cosmetology board. They approved it, but the black police officers in Vegas still stealing it. All of them still stealing. So it was a game that's been going on for centuries, but now black got involved, and they doing the same thing. They chasing people to the law to steal cases. Trump did that with the Feds case in Florida. They did it with the R. Kelly case. Mind you, in the late 90s, I was standing next to R. Kelly at a jail, inside of a police station, because somebody vandalized my truck and stole all of my clothing. So that was black then, trying to steal all of my stuff. So they vandalized their truck at Dave & Buster's. Didn't say Dave & Buster's is not responsible. Sent me around the corner on 10th Street to fill out an application, to make the report. As I'm making the report, R. Kelly standing next to me, signing himself out of jail, him and his entourage. Now here it is, a couple decades later, they using that same fake R. Kelly case to convey my case, and trying to steal my case. So all these are premeditated cases that white men been doing this for centuries. Black men got involved. They doing the same thing now. So they thought they could all chase, blacks thought they could chase me to the court and steal my case. since it's been allowed for so long, and now I'm caught up in it. And so they think they can, Gwen filed a restraining order. She said on behalf of her mother and her sister, who's an FBI agent, and herself. The FBI agent, because I counteract that claim. So that FBI agent was warned not to go around my baby. And so she's not supposed to have no dealings with my child at all. Not Gwen, not the FBI agent, or not even the internal affairs, because all of them were party to the case that I won against a restraining order. So the police officers, the federal agents, because Trina's a federal agent, the internal affairs, they were not supposed to have no dealings with my child, but yet she's on the Federal Bureau of Investigation website. Her picture is there, and the police are the ones who put the fear of death in her. Gwen said it on the record, October 4, 2013, and I'm summing this up, that she said that the internal affairs told her to file their restraining order. She said, me and somebody don't beef, we ain't had no argument, we ain't fighting, we don't beef, we don't do nothing. I'm just merely doing it because I fear for my life, because I'm about to expose their gaming. And she said that because somebody sent all these here politicians and letters around the world, that she feared for her life, is basically what she's saying. I'm summing it up, I'm paraphrasing. That she says that but this part she said verbatim, she feared for her life because somebody I sent Harry Reid a letter, I sent Catherine, the Nevada State Attorney General, a letter, I sent Hannah Brown of the Urban Chambers a letter, and the Workforce Connection a letter, that I sent the Cosmetology Board, which is which was the retired police officer and the president of the Cosmetology Board at that time. And because I sent that police a letter, because I sent all these people a letter, that she feared for her life. So the police, the same police, because remember, Vince, he was over the Cosmetology Board, which a police officer don't have retired or active, ain't got no business governing that Cosmetology Board, period. And so, because I sent him a letter also, now the police officers told her to file that restraining order so they can start kidnapping my babies. That's kidnapping my family and torturing my family under military laws. Under military law says, so they wanted to show a conflict. So they want to act like we at war. But I don't have hate for Gwen there. I'm pleading to them too. I'm trying to get them to walk for free. Just give me my stuff back. Just give me everything back. I don't have hate for nobody. I just want my child back, and I want to just resume and act as though this has never happened. And so they try to talk about that anger, bitterness. No, Samaya ain't angry. Samaya ain't bitter. Samaya have walked away ever since Gwen added her name to my deed fraudulently with that fraudulent contract in 2004, trying to steal that inheritance. The NAACP president and the NAACP, all the blacks were involved when Gwen, because she represents the NAACP. The lady who was a mortgage broker, she represents the NAACP. She's on the board. Now she's a president of the NAACP. And at all times, she was, I believe, the vice president of expertise at Gwen's school. So at all times, they worked together, at all times. So she asked me to let Gwen for hire carry me for a year, so it'll help me with my interest rates and stuff like that. And she said, pay Gwen $1,500, and I did. She said, Gwen have 800 credit scores. I'm just thinking, I went to her company. I went out in Summerlin to a company called ProServe Mortgage, where this lady Roxanne was the founder of that company. So when I went to that company, I don't know nothing about mortgage. I said, okay. She said, you Gwen, because I worked at the school at that time. Y'all friends, aren't you? I said, yeah. She said, well, she got 800 scores. Let her carry you. I said, oh, for $1,500, she can help you with your interest rate. She said, the house will still be yours. She cannot take it. It'll still be yours, and it'll come off in a year. I said, okay. When the year, we did some more paperwork, and I gave Gwen an additional $1,000 after I thought her name came off. but her name didn't come off in that year. I saw paperwork for that grant bargaining deed sale where she put her mom and her dad on my deed in 2005. So you see, so all the blacks and the black politicians, they think they own the earth through my original certificate of title, that inheritance that is that is dated all the way back to 1912 AD. So Gwen and this lady, Roxanne, over the NAACP, all of them tried to take over the world. These are crimes of treason through my inheritance. So not only are you overthrowing the government or overthrowing America, you're trying to take over the world through my deed. And that's why they won't give me the house back, thinking that. That's why they won't give me the house back, thinking that they own my deed, thinking that they own that inheritance through the house. So they're going to continue. Western Progressive, who sold it after a police report was made on them and after they was ordered not to, they called themselves going to steal it anyways. So they going to take over the world, take over the country, take over America, take over its government. All of them going to do all that off of my deed and hold my baby over my head to say, and every other family member, if you try to stop us, we'll kill them. So far, as of now, they have taken every family member away and everything I own away in an effort to prevent me from taking control over that inheritance and my cases and my individuality and my intellectual property and my babies. So as you can see, this is just a mass conspiracy just to take over my life. And now they have their clone look-alike stunt actor person parading around here at Samaya, and sure, maybe perhaps they may even need my daughter to fake it to be her daughter. Well, in Las Vegas, parents are between a man and a woman. Barack, you might have to tell the truth. Parents are between a man and a lady in Las Vegas. A ward is the same as a parent. And first of all, you can't be her ward, not for many reasons. My title, number one, and I just got divorced and I paid thousands of dollars to another white man attorney. And he won because Hodges, her dad, was trying to fight for custody of Lamaya. We went under a 2-year evaluation already, right before I moved to Las Vegas. Lamaya, as the kid, had to undergo evaluation. And Hodges and I, as the parents, had to undergo an evaluation. I won full physical custody of my child. Lamaya was perfect, but nothing wrong with her, America. Matter of fact, she was in a gifted and talented program at her school. She was an overachiever. There was nothing wrong with her, America. We underwent, thank God for that. Thank God for that divorce. See, all bad things happen for a reason. I thank God for that. We underwent already a psych evaluation in America. Only somebody is crazy, or you people are crazy for trying to go to these extremes to steal something that wasn't yours. Go to these extremes to try to steal a world, steal a government, take over America, all this shit, when the title nobility say you can't even have kings and queens in America. What the heck is going on in America? That title nobility, 13th Amendment, say you can never have kings and queens of America. So only somebody needs to be under some type of psych evaluation is all of these people who took part in this evil, blatant, evil crime. All of them who like killing for fun. All of them who call killing gaming. All of them who thought they could and beat my baby, force her to be a hoe, then make her, entice her to be a queen and help her steal the money from my case. Judge Cam Fehrenbach, a magistrate judge, he reversed all that shit in Las Vegas, with the exception of Missouri cases. They stay there in my favor, and all the ones in Las Vegas is also in my favor. But all that money they thought they stole, and Governor Sandoval and Catherine, and all that money they thought they stole, all that was reversed. Now, whatever y'all want to do with that after the fact, I did my part. It was all reversed. It was sealed, and it stayed. Now, I'm done with it. Now, I just need a little bit of money and let me go and live my life and bring my baby back. She's not y'all queen. She's not y'all hoe. She's not y'all mental patient. She's not no wife to nobody. She can't be a wife to nobody. That's virtually impossible. And my case is still pending. I'm just waiting to go to trial. So it's impossible for her to be married to anybody. She is a witness to be protected with who I'm supposed to protect solely. Because I went up against everybody in America. I went up against Barack in his official and his individual capacity. So him as a person and him as a president, I went up against Barack. So I know mine cannot be married to nobody. And this case is still pending because it's not have been completely adjudicated. I haven't gotten a dime, and they can't steal the case if they don't have the injuries or the damages or whatever in which I allege. There's no case. The black started doing what the white was doing, stealing cases. So now they all going to intentionally, like they tried to do in Sirius in the 90s, chase me to court. Now they intentionally try to chase me to court again. But I saw where I could go after the first two cases for sure. That is the ones in which the police officers, Gwen Friend, she said in Senator Stevens Horse's office, the Internal Affairs, the black officer, people in the black agents in Las Vegas, and the black elected officials told her to file their restraining order so they could steal this case. She didn't say so they could steal this case, but that's just what they did. But she did say senators, she mentioned Senator Horsford office, his somebody in Senator Horsford's Internal Affairs office, something like that. She did mention that. Told her to file that restraining order. Now, I got a letter from him like a week prior, told me he can't help me. I got a letter a week prior from a government House of Representatives say they can't help me. I got all these letters back from people telling me they can't help me, but they told Gwen to go and file an order against me so that they can kill me. Now, I got all these letters from all these here government agencies and office. They all tell me they can't help me. But Gwen go to them, they all tell Gwen to file their restraining order against her because we all gonna kill her. And so that's why I'm in their facility being blocked from my house, because they figure like they can put me out and do whatever they want to do here. And then they still trying to force that $200 trillion by, like they did Lamaya, taking away basic human rights. Fundamental, taking away shelter and food and clothing. Then they're gonna force me to pay them or try to get them $200 trillion by taking away all of my rights, food, shelter, and housing. I have a house I own outright with my furniture and all my papers in. That's why they don't want me back, because they still trying to force me to cooperate with them.